What's happening, party people? Today's video is the weekly update kind of thing. I'm a couple months behind on it, so that's running about 2.5 months behind the timeline, but it has good information in there. And this video mainly working with our XC90 and someone's 850R that I'm rebuilding the engine for, and not really rebuilding, but resealing. New head gasket, new valve stem seals, new anywhere there's a gasket or an oil seal or a coolant seal, and replacing all that stuff. You could throw an engine in dirty, or you could clean it up and put all new seals in, and it function more like a new engine, especially if it's got good compression. So that's what I'm doing here. As far as this trip goes, I'm out west trying to help people that want my help. It's simple as that. Now I don't know. I must have 6,000 videos on YouTube, and 4 of those 6,000 videos are telling people you need to call and text. I don't know how to tell you. I cannot chase all these social media message centers to try to find your message. If you want my help, you call or you text. That way I can get you in my book and I don't miss you when I come through. I'm glad to help, and man, you'll save money over working with independent shops and or dealers if you got a couple things you need help with. But I cannot find these messages that y'all leaving, or these breadcrumbs everywhere, all up and down the sidewalk, through the parking lot, down the street, over the hill, in the mountains, through the forest. I can't find those. If you want my help, call and text. I'm glad to stop through and help you. So looks like my next stop is going to be what's that, El Paso, right under us? What's all the way straight down?
El Paso.
El Paso for maybe a day. Then I'm going over into the Phoenix area and then up into either Southern Cal or Las Vegas. So that's what's going on here with my schedule. And man, you could ask me 42 times what day I'm going to be there, and the answer is the same. When I get done here, I move that direction, not before then. So I'm working on an 850. I'm here to do 5 or 6 jobs. 5 or 6 more comes up. That's going to kick me out a day or two. I'm going to go over the mountain, meet a lady, do some work with her. She's got to decide if she can afford, how much she can afford to get done. And if somebody else calls me while I'm here, I'm going to help them. Because I don't come through that often, I just don't have a solid schedule. So I to the life of me, I don't know why y'all keep asking me what day. Because I don't know. I could lie to you. Yeah, just say, hey, Robert, tell me what day and lie to me. I'm good with that. So, all right, I'll be there Friday. I will be in the Phoenix area Friday. There you go. See you then. Hope y'all have a good day. Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert. That's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you could click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Finally quit raining, so we are kicking off the Tinker Day. Man, I'm going to check the tire pressure in this car. This tire actually looks like it's holding air now. Maybe fixing the oil leak stopped the tire from leaking air. But really hadn't done nothing special. I drug that tire all the way from PA. If moving it would have stopped it from leaking, it should have stopped then. This thing was dropping almost 10 psi a day. Let's see what it's at today. Oh yeah, it's low. I need to go take this to get fixed tomorrow. And we'll check the other 4, see if these other ones are still leaking air. I need to find a gauge pod for this gauge and a wire for it to wire it up so it'll have lights. And I might be taking these wheels off of here, putting some other wheels on here. If somebody's going to come get it as a donor car, I want to see this car back here. I really don't want to let this car go as a donor car because it's a special car. It's a T5 and it's nice. It has some potential. I'm going to find a light for this driver's side over here, one way or the other. Either that or I'm going to put two good lights in it, regular lights. And I need to find a strut mount. Let me go see if I got a strut mount for this. And I'll go from there. Doesn't feel like the shocks are too bad, but I know that side's totally blown out on the passenger side. And I need to finish inside of this car. Put the center console in, finish cleaning the back seat area, and put a few other pieces of trim in it. I'm just gonna replace these two rear tires. I got two tires in the trunk. I'm gonna put on here and take those to the tire shop tomorrow morning and get them fixed. And then I'll deal with these tires later, some other time. What the heck I do with the key? I had the key earlier. Now I don't have the key. So let me check the other pressure and swap these rear tires out. I replaced the two back tires. They're the ones losing the most air. That one on the right was already down to 11 PSI. Now these are Yokohama ice guards. They no longer make them. And one of them has a bubble on it. I think it's this one over here. So these need to be replaced. I talked to Discount Tire about the warranty situation, and they said that whatever they credit me for these tires, they'll put on any tires I purchase. So that's good. I aired them all up to 32. All of them was between 27 and 30. And I'm gonna go over here and see if I can find a part to do this spring seat. Let me lock this car, and still need to finish cleaning the interior. I don't think that's going to happen today, but I'll do it tomorrow at the latest. Kicking off the Tinker Day. Went down there to grab this car, check the fluids, thinking about driving it to get a tire or two fixed. Hit the ignition, got lights, didn't crank. Hit the ignition again, no lights, no nothing. I'm thinking, I just drove this thing yesterday. Come out here, positive battery post is loose. So I either failed to tighten it or I never tightened it. This thing is 66% state of health, but it's been getting me around. I need to put a battery clip in here, tighten this battery post, and finish detailing the inside so I can put this car the rest of the way together. Well, what the heck? The battery post screw is tight. Let me get something to tap it down further onto the battery post. Maybe if it's tapped down further, it'll be tight. But yeah, the screw's tight, so I didn't forget to do that. Some of these battery posts get wider as they go down, and I tap this down. You see how much that thing is sticking up now? Before it was level, and I tightened it. Now it is really tight. So that's solved. Let me go grab a battery clip, put that in there. I'm gonna grab my jump box and go. I see that this tube is not tight here, so let me tighten that as well. I don't know why that's loose. Maybe I pulled this box out for something. I need to do a ABS module in this. Maybe I'll do that before I leave here. But my priority is getting this interior clean. I also see now that this mount is torn right there. If you look there real close, you can see that mount has a tear in it. Let me try to get down there closer. See that? That mount's torn, so I need to replace that. The spring suit on that side is totally blown out, so that's not stable. This one, imagine it's cracked, but it's not blown out. And I could not find one, so I ordered one this morning. So let me get ready to take this thing for a spin. I'm not sure what this hose was hooked up to. Maybe the purge valve. I don't know. Something's disconnected. And you got an open vacuum hose. Something is disconnected. I noticed the little O-ring is missing from the oil dipstick as well. Let me see if I got another dipstick handy for that. Yeah, this thing is, this is tight going in.
I remember, I can't forget, because I had grandkids.
thing is super tight, so I might want to put a smaller O-ring or something on there. I can't get that thing all the way down. Maybe it'll get better when it heats up. So where is I at in cleaning here? Oop, I need to open all the doors. The remote works on this thing. And the door's unlocked. They usually do when it's cold. But let me continue to clean. I need to clean this back seat and this back seat and the carpet for up front over there. So let me get on that. I am waiting for parts to come in. After a couple days of charging, this is what we got. Tested anyway. See, it says 620/20 for charging. Really, it's after charging. Before charging gives it a more benefit of the doubt. 18% state of health, 0% charge. It's after charging. It's going to say replace. Normally that would be healthy, at least 60-65%, and charge would be 90% or better after a couple days if it had a chance. Bad cell, replace. So I vacuum it off, I dry wipe it, then I'm hitting it with a steam cleaner. Hopefully the steam cleaner will kill any mold, mildew on it and loosen up any additional dirt in this fabric. And then I'm gonna wipe it down again and install it. It's even got Alcantara down here, man. This is nice. I'm gonna hit the bottom side too. I probably should let this dry before I install it. So I may put this on the porch, let it dry. It should dry today. There was evidently something in the back seat that was pushing on this foam because that's loose. And this one here is puffy and firm. So something was in the back seat pushing against that cushion. No big deal. For some reason, that was down to 0. And that's 2. I know steam is not the best thing for leather, but neither is mold. Steam cleaned, wiped down with some disinfectant. Mr. Clean. Set this up there to dry, then I'm gonna treat the leather. So I was actually steaming the foam on the bottom side, and I seen a couple of what I thought were insects jump up out of there and take off running. So steam cleaning is probably a good thing. Now, one thing I did notice is this thing needs wiper blades. They are gone. Lemonade has good wiper blades, and I have new wiper blades in the garage, so I'm gonna swap these out. No, I'm not. Lemonade has Pia blades. I'm gonna refill those. Let me go get these new wiper blades out of the garage and put these Bosch wiper blades on here. Taking this S70 for its first drive, and man, there's something going on with the rear suspension. Either these rear shock mounts are blown out, or the trailing arm Delta Link bushings are broken. But the seat's not comfortable for me. Let me go get the seat control so I can get comfortable driving this car. This 40-50 miles I plan on driving it today. Let's see, 001. So the suspension is busted, so this thing is floating around a little bit. That shock mount going on and this rear thing going on. The seat trim is busted. It won't hook on the back. I got to replace that. But the controller does work. I brought the center console thing with me. It's not clean, hooked up, so I can't run my scan gauge like I'd like to. And I don't know if fans work or nothing in this thing. I'd like to monitor my temperature, but I also don't want to be late for my appointment. My appointment is in 15 minutes or 18 minutes, and I'm not going to make that from the couple of stops I just made tinkering with this car. But anyway, we got a check engine light, ABS light, tracks light, but we are rolling and relatively straight. just a little noisy. So let's keep it moving. This temperature gauge is up a little higher than I'd like it to be. Let's see if it climbs either higher than that, which it shouldn't, because I'm about to get on the highway. Shouldn't need a coolant fan riding the highway in 45, 50 degree weather. But let's see. I got a massive intake leak. This thing is idling at 1500 RPMs. But my fan works, which is good. I got the title for it. And we are headed back to the tire shop to pick up the tires and head back to the house to finish cleaning it and put it away. Charging system is awesome as well. Doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. Dun 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 dun. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. I think we have a Delta link busted here, folks. Let me see if I can put a light on this thing. This Delta link is totally busted. And that is the least fun job of this vehicle. But I have one here with me. So we have to get this replaced. And let me tell you, this steam cleaner is the way to go. I thought power washing these floor mats were. Steam cleaning them goes so much quicker and so much less water. And I think it gets them a little cleaner. Just go across them slow the first time. And then after that, you go faster. Look at that. I imagine if you put some solution on them before you steam clean them, the solution will help get stains out too. Like some kind of cleaner. Rub the cleaner in and then rub the steamer over them. And I think the steam kills germs in them. So if you got a car that smells a little moldy or something, this steam will kill those germs and freshen up the car. You dry the car out real quick, probably won't have that odor in it no more. And the nap comes up really quick. I should have had this steam cleaner 10 years ago. I'll put the link in the comments below. I steam them, I brush them, then I vacuum them. They look great. Kicking off the Tinker Day. Man, it is chilly out here. First thing I got to do is pick up this oil spill stuff I got scattered around because I stepped on a container that had lifters in it and spilled the oil out, or I knocked it over, one or the other. So I had to sweep that up. Then I need to get this oil pan back on this engine over here. Got that S70 back together, so it needs 3 things on that S70. 1, it needs that Delta link. Horrible job. Number 2, we need a headlight, matching headlight. I don't know if I'm gonna go up or down on that. I'm probably gonna have to go down because I just broke one of those jewels, found it laying in the garage. 3, I got a huge vacuum leak on this car. The idle is super high, which tells me the vacuum leak. 4, I got something going on with the tires. I think there's a flat spot so severe on the tires, they're probably gonna have to be replaced. And last but not least, I need to put this center console back together, which I could do that now. This car will be ready for the road. I picked up the title yesterday. Anytime I get a car, man, I don't like my title floating. I try to get the title in my name as soon as possible. That way I don't have to worry about nobody filing a lost title and trying to get the car back. We put a dehumidifier in here last night, and that doesn't have too much water in the bottom of it. And this mat is still soaking wet, so I'm gonna let that keep running. I ran the ozone machine in it last night, and I still smell some moldy smell in it. May run it again, but I need to get it dried out, so let's keep letting it dry out. Mita's gonna come here and wipe down the oil that she oiled the leather with, and we'll just keep taking it one step at a time. I might take these floor mats out and let them dry in the sun while the dehumidifier keeps running. Found a couple more things I could do to this car to make it perfect. One, I could replace this piece here because the back of it's broke, causes this to fall out. Number two, this wooden piece here is destroyed, so that can be replaced. Number 6 or 8, this floor mat back here needs to be replaced because it's eaten up by something. Another thing that could take this near perfect is replacing this seatbelt buckle thing because it's broken and it causes the seatbelt to fall all the way down to there. And I'm seeing now this seat is torn just a little bit, but yeah, this seat can be stitched back together and this fur shaved off of here. Anyway, let me go ahead and put this center console in and get back to my engine rebuild and replacement for that white car there. Remembered a couple more things. Parking brake cables are probably seized. I know this one is not working. I had to get it. Brake shoes are gone, so we could try to do that to repair the parking brake shoes. All right, so let me put this center console in. Oh, the leather on the steering wheel is coming loose a little bit. I'm gonna try to use contact cement to fix that. 2 more repairs. That'll be 9 and 10. The mount up here, upper torque mount, and the ABS module. I need to find 3 gaskets for this. I think I had them, set them around here somewhere, so I need to find them. This one, and this one. Let me grab those real quick so I can clean the bottom of this block off, put this oil pan back on. Today we're working on our Volvo XC90, and it has a error message in the display stating that we have a rear bulb failure light. That is the rear fog lights there. I have the lights on and the rear fog light switch on, but as you can see, it is not illuminated. The switch for your rear fog lights is right there. The bulb size is a H21W. Very easy bulb to replace. You want to use a plastic tool if you have it to avoid scratching your paint. And you get it inside this plastic here, which is challenging for me. Let's see if this side works. Oh yeah, this side worked better. I was able to massage this in here and it just popped this out. So this is the side you want to work out, and I absolutely have nothing hooked up in there and it taped off. I don't even see the electrical connector. Interesting. Huh. And my bulb connector has tape over it. That means somebody's been tampering it inside here. Usually you pull this light assembly out and there's an electrical wire going to it, but this one's been tampered with. So we're going to go inside the car, see if we can find our electrical wiring. We are inside the trunk area looking for a light bulb connector. Let me go get a flashlight. Today we're going to, I hope that wind is not blowing that hard. Stop, wind. Today we're going to take care of a cosmetic thing on our Volvo XC90, and that is these little emblems fall off. And the first thing you do is go online. You can get it actually through Amazon, the dealer, Volvo part suppliers. You could buy this emblem for anywhere from $11 to $20. The cheapest I've seen it so far was on FCP, like $11.68 or something like that. So you clean that off, make sure it's nice and clean and dry, and there's no wax or oil residue on there. Mita is cleaning it with a alcohol pad. Then you stop cleaning it at some point and you let it dry for a few seconds. Then you take the emblem, that's an official Volvo part. I'll put the part number in the description area below. And it's a peel and stick item. Try not to bend it because you'll put a crease in it. You peel off that tape and you stick it in there. Be careful because you only get one shot. That thing sticks so sticky that if you miss, you're probably going to damage it trying to get it back off to redo it. So I would put one corner in and then lay it across to get the rest of it in. Best thing to do to get this sticky stuff off, wait, don't do it with your finger now, but you can, is just rub your finger across it like that and that'll start it. Rub your finger across the corner of it, that'll start it to come off. Then get your nail or some kind of blade in there to pull it back up. Wax. Here, hold on, let me get it. Neither one of us got any fingernails. And again, you get one shot, so don't mess it up. I'd suggest you put it in one corner. Make sure you're somewhat level. Make sure it's right side up. Tack that corner in. Make sure you are in the range. And then roll your finger across. Make sure you don't bend it. And you'll be good to go. Like brand new. And then see if you can find one for this one over here on the R design. That corner didn't seem to want to stick for some reason. I don't think I got it dirty. Just not sticking. There you go, you all done. Before you stick the emblem on, make sure the grill is dry. You could dry it with a terry cloth towel or some air, or just let it sit a few minutes and dry. Because I think this might have been wet. That's why it didn't stick in as far as it should have. But it should be good to go. Just don't get anything snagged under it. Much better. Time to get back on this white 850R. The engine reseal. Could not find my gasket, so I got to go pick some up from the next date tonight. In the meantime, we're going to clean off the bottom surface of the block that the pan mates to. Then we're going to clean up the mating surface of the oil pan. Then we're going to replace the crank seal. We're going to clean the water pump surface. Then we're going to flip it over and clean off the top of the block where the head mounts to. So for some reason, I took this oil feed line off. I'm not sure if I got both of the washers for that or not. Looks like I do, which is a good thing. I can get it off that other engine anyway, so let me go ahead and get some progress on this thing. Some people mess with the oil pump. I just don't believe in doing that. I've never seen an oil pump leak, and I don't mess with stuff that doesn't have issues. It's bad enough I'm in here on this oil pan. The seals on it was good, but you know, that's a occasional issue with these, so I decided to go ahead and do that. We want this engine to be good for another 200,000 miles. I got the crank sprocket off. Man, it was hard, even with the pulley. It kept rolling the crank, so I was trying to hold the crank with my hand, pinch my finger. Hadn't looked at that yet. Ethan wants to look at it. So I took a brush handle, wooden handle, put it in the crank area, stopped the crank from turning so I could get that thing off. Now I'm gonna pull that seal out, push another one in with the tool I have, and keep moving forward. Do. Got that crank seal installed, and I have the crank sprocket lined up with the oil pump, so it's back on time. Let's go ahead and flip this over and clean off the top surface. There's some oil in here, so I'm going to pull these oil catch rags back over here because this liquid is going to pour out when I flip this engine over. But I have the surface of this as clean as I need it. Hate to say it, but I am wire wheeling this oil pan surface. If you do that, you got to be real careful. I'm going to spray some engine degreaser down in there and then try to wash that out. But I am almost done with the surface. I got 3 sides done. I just got 16 more inches to do on this one. That's already clean. The bottom of the engine is already clean. The crank seal's already in. I'm going to flip it over after I clean this oil pan out and try to dry it out somewhat and install this oil pan. I got all the screws and that foam right there. I need to put thread sealer on those long ones. Sprayed some real engine cleaner on this oil pan. Let it sit a few minutes. Didn't let it sit the whole probably 15 I should have. But man, I pressure washed inside this thing. This is probably the cleanest I've ever seen one come. Pressure washer for the win. Man, it's got crevices rolled down in there clean, man. It is looking good. So I gotta blow this dry and install it because it's wet, and wet doesn't work. So let me clean it off and dry it and get it installed. I'm gonna put the fan on it. I've had this fan blowing on this oil pan for, man, probably 30 minutes now. So mostly dry, got a couple of water droplets on it. I'm getting ready to put a floor mat down there and blow the fan on that, because wind blowing across your floor mats will dry them out. So let me flip this engine back over and mount this oil pan. I got to find my anaerobic sealant and the roller. I think that should be easy to find. I'm pretty sure I put it in these cabinets here. I got the cylinder head cleaned up, the cam cover cleaned up. Not sure if I got enough anaerobic sealant to do that. I should in my little supply thing. So I'm gonna get this head bolted on here shortly and then put the cam cover on it, put new seals on it, put water pump on it, timing belt, all that stuff on it. So I picked up a brand new idler yesterday from my buddy John, so I'll send that back to him soon. So let me go ahead and get what I need to put this oil pan on, including the gasket kit that I have around here somewhere. I think it's in that car right there. So here we go, folks. I have the bottom of the block clean, the oil pickup tube on, bolted down, seal in there. Man, that kind of seems a little cocked in there, but hey, 1, 2, 3 gaskets. I got the bottom of the oil pan clean, pretty dry. I actually used the Volvo anaerobic sealant here. That's the part number, I'm assuming. And we're gonna go ahead and flip this oil pan over and bolt it on there with these screws. I gotta find my thread sealer. I think I got some right on top of that cabinet there. Took a 30-minute lunch break. Back out here to put the rest of these screws in this pan and fill up those long ones. We got the oil pan on and torqued. We got this oil block off plate on. Now we're going to flip it over and bolt the cylinder head on, and then we'll put some timing parts on it. So let's flip this puppy over. I only use Volvo head gaskets, and this one has the copper spray on it. That's the part number there. Let's go ahead and put this on, set the cylinder head on there after we find the gasket for that and put that in place and bolt this thing on. Well, I failed to get a water pipe gasket. You know, with this thing pivoting like this, I'm afraid that it'll leak behind the water pump. I hope that doesn't happen because that will suck. But anyway, the gasket is against the head, but I don't trust that it'll seal good, so I'm gonna try to get a new one. I don't want to be pulling that back off. I got the head set on here. I'm going to lubricate the head bolts and drop them in and torque them. I'm not a Volvo only head bolt guy. A lot of companies been making head bolts for 100 years, so I think other companies can do it. I don't reuse them, so I've never had a problem using aftermarket cylinder head bolts from AutoZone or anywhere else. Filled up the oil filter and put it on. I got the head torqued down, got the lifters in, the top of the cylinder head clean. I'm struggling with putting this cams in because that's going to restrict some of my access to this water pipe, but I guess I could get to this water pipe this way, so I won't be able to put the exhaust manifold on until I get that water pipe situated. And since this thing is moving so much, I think I'm gonna change that gasket in there. So I'm gonna pull the bolt out of there, pull that water pipe out, change that gasket there, then put it back in. So let me wipe this clean with acetone, do the same for the cam cover, and lubricate the cam cover, and go get my drawdown tool and set the cams in there and put the anaerobic sealer on there and knock this out. Getting dark early because they changed time. I got the exhaust cam in, that's the timing mark. The intake cam on, that's the timing mark. I got the seals in the wells. I got the anaerobic sealant on the cam cover. I decided to go ahead and drop the cam locking tools on and use my drawdown tools. So I put a bolt up that way. I usually try to remember to put this one on the intake cam. I need to paint an eye on there or something. But I normally put a exhaust manifold washer on there because these bolts normally shank out in the cam, and that's not good. So let me go ahead and put the drawdown tool on. And before I do that, I'm probably going to drop all the screws in and get this thing drawn down and torqued down. I run all the screws down to make contact. Now I'm a torquing. Oh, I missed two. I pulled the cam cover drawdown tool. Now I'm gonna torque all these to 12 foot-pounds and I'm gonna call it a night. Because as you can see, it is dark. I am gonna move this car down the street over there. But let me torque them. We have got everything cleaned up, getting ready to move a car and call it a night. Whoop, whoop. We're at 2 Stack Jacks trying to get the harness for this light bulb that we're missing. We're going to take the bulb and the holder. It goes down through there. There are 3 screws holding this trim piece in. So I took all 3 of those screws out. After I took the trim above it off, it has catches on it and it slides out. So we should be able to slide this piece out, but it's hooked on into the bumper. So that may be a little challenging getting that out without taking the bumper down. But this is the harness that we're missing on our car. So we're gonna unplug it and try to feed it through there. Do 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 do. Let me see if I got any special words to getting this out. That look like it. Oh crap, that's a big piece. I was able to crack it loose without taking the bumper off. Let me use two hands. I did work that harness out. See if we get this back in here. And it looked like we can. So we may be able to get that in there without taking the whole bumper off. Let's go home and try. Back at this white Volvo 850R to continue to reseal this engine so we could swap the engine. And there it is, the gasket I needed. Volvo part. So that's the part number for that. And like I showed you yesterday, this pipe was a little bit loose, so I'm gonna replace the O-ring where that pipe goes in behind the water pump. So let me grab my tool so I can remove that pipe totally and replace that O-ring. Really hard to do this with the exhaust manifold on. Is probably impossible. So I removed that bolt there. Now I need to work that water pipe out from behind the water pump. Water line O-ring, there we go. That's the old one, that's the new one. Let's go ahead and put this in there, wet it up with coolant, and put the pipe back in. While this is out, I'm going to clean these pipes up with my wire wheel. Cleaned all these connections off. I went on ahead and put it in there. Oh, I forgot to clean this off. So let me pull this, clean this off, put the new gasket there, bolt that in. First time I put that in, I pinched the seal, so I had to be careful doing that. Time to put the timing belt parts in, kicking it off with the water pump. Whoop, whoop. I actually made a mistake. I put the water pump on before I put the timing belt cover on. Always put your cover on first because you can't get the cover on over your water pump. Your water pump actually traps the timing belt cover back there. So I'm going to pull this water pump back off. I'm cleaning the timing belt cover. Got it soaking in engine cleaner. Then I'm going to power wash it. And then I'm going to put the timing cover on, the inner one. Then I'll put the water pump back on. Then I'll put the rest of the timing parts on. I'm going to use that idler. This tensioner is some kind of aftermarket. If it doesn't say I&A on it, I don't use it. It's just, I just don't. I don't know if it'll last 70,000 miles or not. Most of these are only made by one company, Asian. Look at there. That ring and that washer fell off of that bolt hole, that bolt in. That's Asian, so this is good to use. Got a sticker, got a continental belt, and we'll be good to go. So there it is. New timing parts. I'm going to put the rebounder there. I've seen it around here somewhere. I'll install that. I'm back at my marks. My mark didn't go as smooth as I wanted to, so it's kind of a big mark there. This one, actually, the original mark is probably better. The marks are on down there. And we're good to go. No contact, rolled around smooth. Ready to test and pull the engine from this one. Here it is, folks. Let me get this out of the way. Got that rebounder in there. And seeing what's going on here. Last time I checked this, I think the starter was bad. It wasn't clicking or anything when I tried to crank it. So, had a jump box on it, and I couldn't get it to bud. So let's see if I can roll it over by hand and get this thing pulled out and swapped. My gosh, to my surprise, it's almost 4:30. That gives me 1 hour of daylight. I'll be working here in the dark until 7. Well, I put the tool on the crank. Absolutely no movement at all. So let's go ahead and drop the fluids, get this engine out of here, and get this other one put in. I don't know if there's anything going to be usable on there, but we hope the turbo's still good. And of course your radiator, stuff like that. So I'm gonna drop the trans fluid, the coolant and the oil and get this thing popping. Took me a little bit to get this car on jack stands because it has this IPD belly pan, which I do recommend people get when they have a lowered car. It's got anti-sway bars too, and a split in the anti-sway bar inlink. Man, that's a big bar. Let me get this off, drain the oils. Man, this transmission drain bolt must have been torqued to like 100 foot-pounds. It was really hard to break loose. Got some soot on it, on the magnet, and it's dirty fluid, almost as dirty as engine oil. Got that wiped off. I'm going to put it in, but I do not think that was a crush washer. That thing was too tight for that to be a crush washer. Started pulling the bolt out of this oil pan, and it's just like water, coolant, water mix. But there wasn't any oil in the coolant, so that was a little strange. Yep, that's why it's locked up. We got a bolt missing from the bracket for the power steering lines. Let me go ahead and take some engine mounts and stuff loose while I'm down here. I need to pull the axles. So I'm going to pull the tires, pull the axles. And that's why our end link is worn out. Transmission torque mount is blown. I'm not sure if this mount is bad or improperly installed. We'll take a closer look at it when we get it out. And let me go ahead and pull a bolt out of that mount, out of this mount. I got this courier bearing bracket loose. I can pull the wheels and pull these axles out of the transmission. Driver's side control arms are worn out. The bushings are torn. That's blown out. Wheel skirts are torn. Kind of not installed properly. This anti-sway bar and link is also torn. Somebody failed to put the clamp on the steering boot, so it's sliding around on the inner tie rod end. Brake lines cracked. This skirt is totally torn out. This control arm looks good. Looks like it's been replaced. Let me go ahead and take this stuff loose and get this axle out. That inner tie rod end boot is not secure either. Intake accordion tube is rotted out. That's what happens in Texas. So this may get sucked into the airbox. I don't know. Taking the clips loose from the transmission. And the good thing is they had zip ties on them, I guess. The bad thing is they had them on backwards. The flares are supposed to lock onto the radiator, and they had it backwards where the flares are locking onto the line. That didn't fit in the line, but again, they put zip ties on there to save the day. So I'm gonna switch those around, put those on properly when I go back in with it. Let me keep on. I'm gonna pull this fan out. I got the air box out, this out. I'm pulling the engine and transmission, so I'm gonna keep pulling some stuff here, and I'm gonna pull that bracket out of the way because I'm pulling the turbo up with it as well. So I'm gonna lubricate those bolts to pull them out of the downpipe, and then I got to disconnect the fuel lines down there and keep it moving. Keep it moving. Time to call it a night. I got some stuff disconnected. The radiator is disconnected, all except for that oil line down the bottom. Now, like I said, this side was hooked up backwards on these special clips. The oil lines is hooked up correctly, so I don't understand that. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. I got part of the harness disconnected. I got the transmission stuff disconnected. I got the ground wire loose. The only thing that I'm not looking forward to is that coolant line back there, because, man, I hate busting up that. So let me put my tools away for the night, close this thing down, and pick it up in the morning. If you made it this far, I trust that you found some information that was either useful or entertaining, so go ahead and hit the like button. And if you would like notification of future videos that I post, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support. You can follow me on other social media apps by looking for at Robert DIY. Some form of that should bring up the other channels that I have on places like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and so forth. If for some reason you need some more personal help, go to my website at robertdiy.com and use the phone number that I have posted there to send me a text message, or you can email me. If you have questions or comments, please make a comment below. And if you'd like to make some kind of financial contribution to what I got going on here, go to my channel and hit the more link at the end of the introduction statement, and it'll show you different ways that you can support me financially. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.